Takuma Sakamoto is a secluded gamer who is transported into the world of his favorite game, Cross Reverie, with the appearance and powers of his own character in the game, the Demon Lord Diablo. There, the Pantherian Rem Galliou and the elf Shara L. Greenwood accidentally fall into an enchantment that bound them to him as his slaves. The trio settle in an inn in Faltra City, where they meet Celestine Baudelaire, the head of the Mage Association. The slave collars around Rem and Shara's necks cannot be removed or destroyed, so Celestine promises to find out how to do so. Suspecting Rem is keeping secrets, Diablo forces her to confess in private that the demon lord Krebskalm was sealed inside her body ever since she was born. Celestine is the only one who knows, and they have been working on a way to extract and slay Krebskalm without killing her. Diablo vows to help her with her problem. Later, when Diablo takes a walk, the disgruntled mage Gallic attacks him with a giant fire-breathing salamander, only to be shocked when Diablo easily slays it. He declares he is Diablo, the demon lord from another world. Diablo, Rem, and Shara join the Adventurers Guild, but when they try to measure Diablo's level, the power measuring device malfunctions. The guildmaster, Sylvie, is intrigued, then sends them on a quest to slay a Madara snake in the Mannian Woods. Once there, they are ambushed by a squad of elves who reveal that Shara is the Princess of Greenwood and wish for her to return home, and have been told that Diablo enslaved her. Shara refuses to return because her brother had been pressuring her to marry him and bear his child. The elves attack Diablo, who easily defeats them. Gallic, the one who told the elves where to find them and desires revenge against Diablo, comes out of hiding and berates the elves for their failure, then retreats after being reprimanded by Rem. Shara tells the elves to return and tell her brother she is never coming home. Diablo and Shara are given a quest to deliver refreshments to the guards at the Bridge of Ulug. Emil Pichelberger, who thinks Shara and Rem are unwilling slaves, attacks Diablo and is quickly defeated. Then the girls explain the situation to him, so he leaves. As Diablo and Shara make the delivery, the guards report a massive army of Fallen is approaching. Aware the guards will not survive without help, Diablo volunteers to defend the bridge. Back in the city, Celestine tells Rem that she fired Gallic for his actions, then states her suspicions that Diablo is actually a Fallen. Gallic bursts in and hysterically demands to hear that he wasn't fired. He suddenly stabs himself with a cursed dagger, causing his body to be possessed and transform into the Fallen Gregor. Diablo defeats the Fallen left and right, then their commander, Edelgard, appears and challenges him to a duel. Gregor pursues Celestine and Rem, aiming to kill Celestine to destroy the protective barrier she placed around the city. When they are cornered, Emil and several adventurers defend them. Edelgard is unable to significantly harm Diablo. When a messenger explains the situation with Gregor, Diablo fires a massive spell called White Nova that erases the Fallen army and most of the land, but to Diablo's amazement, Edelgard is only left naked and is mostly unharmed, and she acknowledges him as a demon lord. Diablo teleports himself and Shara back in time to save Emil from being killed. Vengeful for all the people Gregor hurt and killed, Diablo humiliates him with his magic until he begs for mercy, then kills him. After funerals are held for the people killed in Gregor's attack, Shara attempts to seduce an exhausted Diablo only to be attacked by a jealous Rem. Sylvie delivers a message saying Shara must be returned to Greenwood within 10 days or else there will be war. Diablo is angered when he learns Shara's brother put a bounty on her. The group meets Chester Ray Galford, the lord of the city, who asks them to do their best to prevent a war since Shara refuses to return to Greenwood. Chester assigns Alicia Cristella, an Imperial Knight, to assist them. Diablo purchases a scythe so he can fight weaker opponents without using magic. Shara is abducted by bounty hunters, but is rescued by the group plus Emil. Alicia berates herself for not guarding Shara better, but Diablo tells her not to be so hard on herself. Celestine directs the group to the slave trader Medios, who was once Celestine's colleague in studying magic, for insight on how to remove Rem and Shara's collars. When they meet Medios, she detects Krebskalm's presence within Rem, but Shara thinks she is saying Rem is pregnant. Medios explains a master can remove a collar by pouring their magical energy into their slave's body. Diablo tries it with Shara, but gives up in embarrassment when the process is extremely pleasurable for her. Later, Shara's brother, Kira, arrives and apologizes for the bounty hunters, then tries to persuade Shara to return with him. She reiterates that she will not return, so he leaves, promising that she will return with him of her own free will. Diablo dreams of his childhood where many of his so-called friends would use him and then abandon him. While alone with Shara, he finds he can easily craft potions. Outside, Kira plays a flute that hypnotizes Shara into leaving with her brother. Depressed about being abandoned again, Diablo mopes, but Rem and Alicia eventually deduce that Shara was hypnotized and the group plots a rescue. Kira chains Shera up in his tent and interrogates her on her relationship with Diablo, not believing her when she says Diablo did not touch her. But the group arrives in time, having already defeated his guards. Kira uses the flute to hypnotize Shera again and make her lie that she wants to stay with her brother, but Diablo uses his authority as the master of her collar to make her tell the truth, and she says she wants to stay with Diablo and Rem. Infuriated, Kira summons a monster called the Force Hydra. Diablo manages to defeat the Force Hydra despite its regeneration by completely incinerating it. Shera asks him to spare Kira as he is still her brother, and he agrees, but Chester appears and beheads Kira. Chester has his army round up the already beaten elf troops and attempts to capture Shera, stating his plans to conquer Greenwood. Chester traps Diablo in an energy sphere and destroys Alicia's sword when she tries to defend Shera. Diablo breaks free and battles him, evenly matched, and narrowly manages to win. Alicia threatens to report Chester's unethical actions to the king, so he surrenders and withdraws his troops. The group heals the elf troops with potions and comforts Shera over the loss of her brother. Later, Sylvie serves an exhausted Diablo a drink meant to restore energy, but he becomes drunk and mistakes her. While Alicia has an audience with the king, she runs into Sadler, an arrogant paladin who is going to Faltra City to investigate Diablo. Shera summons a bird called a turkey shot and binds it to her with a collar. Diablo teaches her how to take advantage of the turkey shot's ability to share what it sees with its owner to improve her aim with arrows. Adelbert appears, saying she is not here to fight. They explain Rem's situation to Shera, and Shera promises to help her. Adelbert explains a ritual to be done in 3 days at Starfall Tower can remove Krebskulm without harming Rem, then leaves after they agree. 3 days later, Alicia returns and warns them about Sadler. Despite their attempts to avoid him, he and his followers find them. Sadler condemns Diablo's friends for consorting with a demon lord and injures Rem with magic. He then tries to turn Diablo to stone, but Diablo reflects the spell and Sadler is turned to stone. The group goes to Starfall Tower. And what emerges is at first a towering, hideous demon, but then it transforms into a cute little girl. Krebskulm has amnesia, and when Shera feeds her biscuits, she is enamored with the taste and decides not to wipe out the mortals. Alicia protests, but Adelbert is loyal to Krebskulm and accepts it. Disappointed in Krebskulm's weaker form and refusal to kill, the fallen Ulrix appears and attacks her, but Adelgard and Diablo drive him away. As they approach Faltra City, Adelbard leaves since fallen are not welcome. They change Krebskulm's name to Clem to avoid a panic. An exhausted Diablo is embarrassed when Shera and rub against him to donate magical energy. In private, Alicia remembers how she suffered from abusive parents and superiors and wants Krebskulm to wipe out all the mortal races. Meanwhile, Sadler turns back to flesh and vows revenge. The group tells Celestine about Clem as she is happy that the Demon Lord is not evil. While separated from Shera and Diablo, Alicia betrays Rem and Clem to Sadler, and they are arrested. Alicia's plan is to traumatize Clem until she returns to her true self. Sadler takes them to a church where he intends to torture Rem until she confesses to worshipping a Demon Lord. Diablo and Shera search for them, while a massive army of fallen marches toward Faltra City. Clem tries to protect Rem, but when Sadler attempts to strike her, Rem shields her with her body and is impaled several times. Clem snaps, returns to her original demon form, kills Sadler, and blows up the church. As she rampages, Diablo and Shera arrive. Alicia joins the army of Fallen, and she, Adelgard, and Ulrix celebrate the return of the true Krebskulm. While Shera treats Rem's injuries with potions, Diablo battles Krebskulm and greatly damages her, but cannot keep her down. After Emil protects the girls from debris, Rem reveals she is alright, causing Krebskulm to revert to the little girl Clem. The army of Fallen turns on Alicia for her failure, but Adelbert holds them off and tells her to escape. Sylvie attempts to kill Clem for the destruction she caused, but relents when Diablo casts the spell to bind Clem to him as a slave and make a collar appear around her neck, as a slave cannot disobey her master. Later, Alicia appears and reveals she sneaked Adelgard, heavily injured from fighting off the other Fallen, into the city and begs Clem to heal her, which she does. Clem orders Adelbert to never kill mortals again. Rem asks Alicia why she did what she did, and she reveals her past suffering and desire to wipe out the mortal races. Since Clem will not kill, Alicia attempts suicide, but Diablo stops her and tells her to find a new purpose to live for, then Rem forgives her. Diablo collapses in exhaustion and is embarrassed when all 5 girls donate magical energy. The next day, Adelgard disguises herself as a human and mingles with the people. Alicia leaves for a new journey. Shera and Rem ask Diablo choose one of them and kiss her, but he refuses as he is a demon lord and only does what he wants. Thank you for watching.